What's up, friends? Welcome back to Coffee Time, and welcome to one of my other new locations. So I don't necessarily have a clever way of getting into today's topic, as I usually like to do, so I'll dive right in. I'm talking about nostalgia today. What is it? Why is it so powerful? Where is it positive, and where do we need to grow from it? Nostalgia is something that affects pretty much all of us in one way or the other. Like being, I'm wearing my old Hybrid Theory t-shirt, from the early 2000s. I mean, this got me through my freshman year of high school. You see the doodles all over the table that my roommates and I like to do. It's very nostalgic stuff, and it's very comforting. And that is nostalgia at its best, when it does bring you that sense of wonder that you had when you were younger, even if just for a moment. It's kind of like having a bad day at work, but you go to your favorite coffee shop and your favorite latte is that thing you look forward to, and then all of a sudden your day isn't quite as shitty. I guess nostalgia really kind of works that way. I love playing, you remember my episode on gaming. I love the retro stuff. Why are we like that, though? I guess I kind of answered it earlier. It's that sense of wonder. And understand this is all my opinion, my ideas. A psychologist could probably give you a much better answer. But from my perspective, I feel like nostalgia, we do cling to it because we associate the times of yesteryear with safer times. We feel that things were simpler. We feel that maybe things were safer somehow, but in reality, that's not very true. For me, my childhood was the late 80s into the 90s, and the world definitely wasn't safer then. It wasn't necessarily simpler either. It seemed simpler, we didn't have the technology that we have now, and a lot of stuff just went unspoken. So yeah, it seemed simpler, but it wasn't. People look at now and think, wow, it's so complex now, everything's so chaotic now. It's no, we just see more now. We're able to see what's going on around the world and what's going on around our country, what's going on in our neighborhood with so much more ease than the 90s or earlier. So, it's not that it was safer, but we were all different back then. Who I was as a child is not the same person that I am in my late 30s. Now that I have responsibilities, I've seen a lot of things that I can't unsee. I've sat with a lot of lessons and so on and so forth, whereas my brain back in the 90s, it was focused on not getting in trouble, and stuff at school, and other kid stuff and whatnot, stuff around the house. Wasn't dealing with complex stuff like existentialism and dealing with midlife crisis stuff and being aware of the world affairs and whatnot. So I guess it is an escape. It is the same as going for your favorite cup of coffee after a difficult day at work. And then, in its own, is a beautiful thing, because sometimes taking that pause and catching your breath when the world is shit can save your life. Yeah, that's a little dramatic, but we're living in dramatic times. And as I pointed out earlier, we always have been. But where does nostalgia go wrong? Well, we go back to our coffee analogy, and you can fill that with any other vice like drinking or gambling or anything else, and nostalgia can fit right in there if used irresponsibly. When you live in the past and you just want to talk about how your childhood decade is the greatest and any other decade is just garbage and the music was good then and only then and whatnot, and you're just constantly living there and not growing from then, not growing from your past and just wanting to constantly escape there, is no different than constantly escaping to alcoholism or a gambling addiction or a self-harm addiction or whatnot. Nostalgia is there when we need comfort, but life isn't always all about comfort. You can't be so wrapped up in trying to feel safe in your past, or at least the perceived safety of your past, that you forget to live in the here and now. I see a lot of people, they're swirling away their nuts for the future, or they're living in the past. And you forget about what's going on right now, and what's going on right now will never happen again, so might as well enjoy it today. So those are my 2 words about nostalgia. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to escape for a moment, sit with what brought you comfort through the years or a certain point in your life. Just don't stay there. But, let's have some fun with it. With something that gives you the nostalgic feels that when you're having a terrible day, you can escape to just for a moment to catch your breath. What is that? I'd like to hear about it. You heard about mine. It's my retro games and music from the 90s and 2000s and whatnot. Although I do listen to a lot of music from a lot of eras. But yeah, tell me about what are your nostalgic vices. Hope y'all are doing good. Love y'all. See you next week. Cheers.